So as you may remember from previous videos, I have a friend named New Dave. After New Dave crashed his free ride horrifically, he spent some time in the hospital, and then he decided he needed a really fast bike, so he bought a 300RR Beta. Anyway, after some pleading and begging, he did allow me to take it for a spin and do a video on it, and here it is. It's bigger, it feels bigger than I thought it would. Ooh, boy! So Beta 300RR. Look at that. Oh, wow. Never been ridden, really, but like a couple miles by Dave. So I try to get used to this thing. Power is super smooth right off the bat. Notice the delivery is just insane. I was not digging the tires very well. I know what his PSI is set at. The tires feel a little goofy. Definitely has a trials bike feel to it. It likes to lug, I can tell already. It's a lugging bike, 300. First impressions obviously here, guys. I've been on it for 10 feet. Clutch feel is freaking phenomenal. I think he's modified this with a Recluse. Let me see if he has. Yeah, he does have the Recluse in there. That's why it feels weird. So he's got a Recluse in this thing already, which is pretty crazy. My new bike, put a Recluse in it. Done a lot of mods to it. God, the power is so smooth on this 300. I just can't believe how smooth the power is. It actually makes my 250 feel like a motocross bike. It's so smooth. It's bigger feeling than I thought it would be, and that may be due to the fact that he's got the back end lowered down so he can touch his feet. So, because he likes to be able to touch flat-footed. So it may have something to do with the suspension feeling, why I'm feeling a little bit weird on the suspension on this too. But yeah, I mean it's a good bike. I think in gnarly terrain, this thing would be just amazing. Something really rough and slower speeds, to go back to that Beta trials background kind of thing that it does. I think that it's going to be amazing at that. The power is so freaking linear. The power feels like Don's KDX, where it's just the most linear two-stroke power you've ever imagined in your entire life. Smooth, like it's like riding butter, but there's a lot more of it because it's a 300. It seems to rev out pretty quick, and it seems to like the low revving. Like on mine, I would be higher revved out here. This one doesn't seem like it needs to, and obviously it's just that 300 power plant. You know, it just doesn't need to be revved out. Yeah, I think with some suspension tweaks, and I'd kill the Recluse. I'm not a Recluse fan, but man, Dave loves his Recluses. He's got a seat concept seat on here, and I think he did that to help lower his stance down too. It's a little too low for me. The reason I don't like the bike so low is because riding at speed when you're going from sitting to standing, it's harder on your legs, it takes more muscle if you're sitting lower than to go up to a full stance. So I like the bike to set me up really high, which this one doesn't do, but again, I think that's a modification by Dave, not the bike's fault. Overall, yeah, I guess the suspension needs some tweaking on it compared to the KTM that I have. I think I prefer mine, but again, he has modified the seat height on it a little bit. The power plant on this bike, I gotta tell you, is amazing. It is so good. Definitely no complaints there. Cornering feels a little, it's not as quick in the corners as the KTM is. KTM has a quicker steering. This one doesn't have that quicker steering. Its steering's a little heavier. Some people may really like that. I don't know if I like it or not as much. I like the quickness of the KTM steering. But this one definitely feels more planted in the front end. The front end, it feels like you don't really get with that two-stroke. You feel a little bit disconnected from the front tire sometimes. It feels so light. This one, I think it's because of the balancing is so good. That front tire feels just planted. It's like an old four-stroke. It's just like stuck to the ground, stuck ahead of you. There's like no waywardness at all. in the front end. Good bike. I would definitely buy one of these. Consider getting one of these. I would say a good rider on either this or the KTM would be extremely happy. Good bike, and by the way, it's just gorgeous.